Hello, so last week if you watched my video we talked about how to create a mission statement that really means something. Now it's time to look at how you're actually going to achieve it. And so today I want to talk to you about planning your way to success. Hi, I'm Colette Broomhead and this is Business Class Monday. So planning is one of those things that a lot of people find really difficult, and it's understandable because the temptation is to just sit down and get on with whatever is in front of you, or to be led by that creative spark that kind of sends you in one direction and the next. The problem with that is that it has no direction, and you will often find yourself spending all your time in activities that aren't actually necessary to achieve that end goal that you have, that goal that you set in your mission statement. So you sit down and you're checking your emails, which sparks off another idea, which sparks off another idea. You suddenly realise you haven't written a blog post for a while, so you better write a blog post. Or you haven't been on social media for a while, so you pop on social media. And while all of these activities may help you get to your goal, a lot of them may not, and actually unless they're carefully structured and planned, they won't be nearly as effective as they could be. So the first problem that a lot of people will have with their planning is knowing where to start. Again, the temptation is to start with what's important today. What do I need to do today? But actually a more effective way to plan your business is to start by taking a step back and looking at that big picture, starting with that first overall goal that you set in your mission statement and then working back from there. So we did that last week. Hopefully you have your mission statement, you have your overall goal sorted out. So the next step from that is to focus on the next 12 months. So in order to achieve your overall goal, what do you need to focus on for the next 12 months? Now, when you're looking at creating your yearly goals, one of those goals should always relate to the revenue that you need to create. The reason for that is you basically need these two things walking side by side. So you need activities that are going to take you towards that goal, but you also need activities that are going to earn you money, because if you're not earning money, you can't keep your business open and you're never going to achieve that goal. So you need to balance those two lots of activities. Sometimes, they'll work together, sometimes they might feel quite separate, but both need to be there. So you work out your annual revenue target. How much do you need to earn to pay your bills? How much would you like to earn in order to have the lifestyle that you're after? And once you've come up with a figure that you're happy with, you then need to work out how many of your products and services that you need to sell in order to achieve that revenue target. And that gives you a really good basis to know what you need to focus on for the rest of the year. It may be that you already have an existing set of products and services in place that you want to focus on, or it may be that you are hoping to create something new over the course of the year. So all of that needs to be laid out in your yearly goals. Once you've done your yearly goals, the next stage that I like to do is to break my year down into quarters, so basically into 4 3-monthly sections. This idea works really well for various reasons. Firstly, by breaking it down, you give yourself more urgency. You can when you have a yearly goal, for a lot of the year it feels like that's far off, and it feels like you've got loads of time to focus on it, and then you have that kind of final month or so of like mad panic when you realise that you're running out of time. By breaking your goals down into 3 monthly sections, 12 weeks is a much shorter space of time, and you have that sense of urgency. If you know that this has to be done in 12 weeks, you're going to get on with it. You're not going to procrastinate. And so it works really well to break things down. It also makes things feel more achievable and not so big and scary. If you can, those annual goals, if you can break them down into bite-sized chunks, then it makes it seem so much more achievable. I highly recommend a fantastic book called The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran. If you haven't read it, then go out and find it because it's fantastic, and it's really inspiring. Okay, so you've got your 12-week goals now. You've set your overall goal, your mission statement, you've set your yearly targets, and then you're now looking at, in order to achieve those yearly targets, what do I need to do in the next 12 weeks? And it's a personal choice as to how you approach this. One way to do it is to decide what stage you need to get to with each of your goals in the next 12 weeks. And another way to do it, which is something that I'm trying this year, is actually to take one particular goal to focus on for 12 weeks and then focus on something completely different in your next 12 weeks. For me, I like the idea of doing that because it gives me a bit of variation. I can put all my focus into one thing for 12 weeks, but then I can have a complete change. But you do what works best for you. So when you have your 12-week goal set, it's time to start planning how you're going to achieve those. And a good way to do this, and this is what I do with my business, is to break your time up into different types of activity that you will need in order to achieve those goals. So the types of activity that I break my time up into are revenue generating activity. So for me, making sales, doing sales calls, doing coaching, content creation and free value. So that's where I'm making videos like this, or I might be creating my 7-day challenges or my blog posts, my newsletters. All of that is free content, but it's content that I produce in order to raise awareness of my business, to build my own credibility, and to provide value so that people can see what it is that I can do for them. The third type of activity that I focus on is relationship building. So this is a really key part of business. You need to build relationships both with prospective customers but also with your existing customers. So for me, that would be things like spending time in my Facebook group, spending time in other Facebook groups, and kind of speaking with people on social media. It might be going and networking face to face with people. So whatever that looks like for your own business, make sure that you set aside time for building relationships. The fourth type of activity is developing my business. So spending time to plan ahead for the future, to think about how I want my business to develop. So that might be coming up with a new idea for a course, or maybe thinking about how I can develop my coaching, perhaps create a group coaching program, and basically thinking about how I can develop what I'm doing now to take me on to the next step in my business. So unless you actually give yourself time to have that kind of creative thought and do that sort of forward thinking, then your business is always going to stay at the same level. And then the last section of time that I allot for my business is personal development. So this is really key, and it's something that so often gets kind of pushed to the bottom of the queue because it feels almost like an indulgence, but it is so important. You need to spend time to grow your own skills and to develop yourself. So whether that be reading books, doing courses, attending webinars, or listening to podcasts, watching videos, whatever that may be, make sure you set aside some time for you to develop your knowledge, to develop your skills, so that you have what it takes to grow your business. So the next step I do, once I know the types of activities that I need to do and I know what my goals are for the next 12 weeks, is I break down what I need to do by month, by week, and then by day to day. So don't let this overwhelm you. The way I do it is I think, okay, what do I need to do every month? So for me, that might be I need to create a monthly newsletter. And then what do I need to do every week? So what are the kind of recurring activities that you need to do every week? So again, for me, it would be creating a new video, creating a new blog post, and so on. And then what are the things that I need to do every day? Again, for me, it would be making sure that I'm in my Facebook group business class and providing content and value in there. And then you can start to lay out a kind of weekly plan. And then what I do is each week on a Friday, I plan the following week day by day. So I don't plan any further than 1 week ahead on a daily basis. I have overall what I want to achieve for the 12 weeks, what I want to achieve for the month, and then I look at what I want to achieve the next week and I plan each day. So I pop in those daily activities that I know I have to do every day. I pop in the weekly activities that I know I have to do every week, and I check if there's anything monthly that I have to do that week, like is this the week that I have to write my monthly newsletter? And then I kind of allot my time and I see what's left over and I plan what else I can then put in that will take me a step towards my goals. So it might be that I'll stick in a couple of hours slot for personal development. I'll stick in a couple of hours slot for planning a future course and starting to work on something that I want to launch in the future, and so on. And by doing that, the following week, all I have to do every day is when I sit down, the first thing I do is I look at my plan, and it tells me what I need to do that day, and that keeps me focused. And it's so powerful, it's so helpful. So in order to help you with this, I have a free weekly planner that I've created where you can fill in your own days and plan ahead for what you want to do for the following week. If you would like to receive one, then you can sign up for one here, and you'll also be signing up for my updates, so you'll get my monthly newsletter and my weekly posts sent to you by email. I hope you find it useful. If you do, then let me know. I'll also be doing, as always, a live Q&A in my Facebook group business class on Thursday. Again, if you sign up at the same link, you'll also receive an invite to that group if you're not already a member. I hope you've found this video useful, and I hope that it will help you with your own planning, because life's too short not to spend it doing the things that you love. Bye.